Have you ever found yourself like completely overwhelmed by all the financial advice out there?
Oh, definitely. It's a common feeling.
Yeah, you should be doing something, saving, investing, maybe tackling debt, but there are just so many choices it kind of leaves you frozen, right?
hmm Paralysis by analysis, they call it.
Exactly. Do you hit the 401k match first? Or college savings? What about that credit card bill that keeps nagging you? It's just a lot.
It really is. People genuinely want to get ahead, but figuring out the first step or the right sequence feels impossible sometimes.
Right. So today on the deep dive, we're going to unpack a really structured plan, one that's helped, literally millions cut through all that confusion.
We're talking about the 7 baby steps to financial freedom.
That's the one. And it's not some brand new idea, is it? It came from Dave Ramsey's personal experience, like over 30 years ago, bankruptcy, right?
Yeah, quite a story. That personal struggle really became the foundation for this whole system. Started in his classes, became Financial Peace University.
And then the book, The Total Money Makeover, which has sold, nearly 10 million copies.
Incredible numbers. It's become this blueprint for getting your finances in order. Debt out, wealth in.
So our mission today is simple. Let's dig into these steps. What's the logic? Why are they in this order? And, why do people say it's the shortest distance between where you are now and wealth?
Let's do it. We want to see how this structure helps you stop feeling frozen and actually start moving.
Okay, so the core idea, it's about simplicity and following the steps exactly.
Precisely. It's sequential. And those first few steps, steps 1 to 3, they require something called gazelle intensity.
Gazelle intensity, like running from a lion.
Kind of. Think full-out sprint. The source talks about beans and rice, a scorched earth approach, real focus.
Okay, intense. So step 1 kicks things off. The starter emergency fund, what's that involve?
It's about saving $1,000, just $1,000 bucks.
1,000. That doesn't sound like much compared to, say, big debts. Why start there?
It's the buffer, a small, immediate cushion between you and, life happening. Flat tire, unexpected bill.
Gotcha. Stops you from reaching for a credit card right away.
Exactly. And speed is key here. The goal is to get that $1,000 saved like super fast, within 30 days maximum.
30 days. How?
Work extra, sell stuff you don't need, have a garage sale. The source even jokes about putting the kids on Craigslist, but obviously don't do that.
Okay, point taken. Sell the clutter.
Right. And if you already happen to have more than $1,000 saved outside of retirement accounts,
Yeah.
you just earmark that 1,000 and boom. Everything else you can liquidate stocks Grandpa left you, that gold bar under the bed, goes straight to step 2.
Okay, so step 1 is quick, creates a tiny safety net. Then step 2, the debt snowball. This one's pretty famous.
It really is. And it's straightforward mechanically. You list all your debts, everything except the house, smallest balance to largest.
Smallest to largest, not highest interest rate.
Nope. Smallest balance.
Yeah.
Then you pay minimums on everything except that smallest one and the smallest. You attack it with a vengeance.
Attack it.
Right.
Why that method? People always argue about the interest rates.
It's the psychology.
Yeah.
Seriously. Knocking out those small debts quickly gives you these huge mental wins. It builds momentum, keeps you motivated.
Ah, I see. So the quick wins keep you in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You still need that gazelle intensity, maybe selling the stupid boat, as the source puts it, or getting a side hustle. But the payoff,
What's the typical outcome?
the claim is that most people doing this are consumer debt-free in about 2 years. 2 years.
Wow, imagine freeing up all those monthly payments. That would feel like breathing easy.
Totally. And once that non-mortgage debt is gone, you roll right into baby step 3,
Which is?
the fully funded emergency fund. Now we're talking
Blanket.
serious buffer.
Okay, how serious?
3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses, saved up, liquid, accessible.
3 to 6 months. That sounds like a lot more work than the first 1,000.
It is. But this is what stops you from ever going back into debt.
Right?
You become your own bank for emergencies.
Because life happens.
It absolutely does. The source is blunt. It's going to rain. Crap happens. There's always something, maybe a pandemic coming around every corner. This fund protects you.
Like the third little pig's brick house.
Exactly that analogy. The big bad wolf, job loss, medical issue, whatever comes knocking, but you're secure. You're protected.
In reaching this point, step 3 is significant, right?
Hugely significant. It means you're basically at ground zero. You're finally even. Now, the program says you're truly ready to start building wealth.
Okay, so the intensity shifts now from scorched earth to something else.
Precisely. The intensity becomes intentionality. You're not scraping by anymore. You're building deliberately, doing it on purpose.
And this is where steps 4, 5, and 6 come in.
Yes, and crucially, These three happen at the same time, simultaneously.
Okay. Multitasking our finances. What's step 4?
Step 4 is investing 15% for retirement.
15%.
Of gross income. Yep, 15% of your gross pay goes into retirement accounts. Specifically, good growth stock mutual funds.
Okay. Good growth stock mutual funds. What does that generally mean in this context? And is there a preferred order for where that 15% goes?
Generally, it means diversified funds focused on companies expected to grow, managed professionally, and yes, there's a definite order.
Lay it out for us.
First, you invest enough in your workplace plan, like a 401k, to get the full employer match. Always. That's free money.
Can't argue with free money. Okay, after the match.
Then, you prioritize Roth accounts. Roth IRA, Roth 401k. Pay taxes now, so growth and withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. The math, they say, works out better long-term.
Makes sense. So match first, then Roth. What if you hit the Roth limits but still aren't at 15%?
Then, and only then, do you put the rest of your 15% into traditional tax-deferred accounts like a regular 401k or IRA.
And stick to 15%, not more, not less.
For this step, yes. The advice is clear. Don't do 20%, don't do 11%, do 15%. Keep it consistent while you're also doing steps 5 and 6.
All right, so while that 15% is flowing into retirement, we're also tackling baby step 5, saving for children's college.
Correct. And this one's more flexible. As the source says, it looks different for everyone. There's no set number.
Depends on the kid's ages, goals.
Exactly. Is the baby a newborn or heading off next year? The core goal, though, is clear. Help kids get through college debt-free.
Which tackles the huge student loan issue head on.
It does. The source calls it this epic student loan system failure that is called America right now. It suggests looking at all options, community college first, state schools, scholarships, kids working.
And it makes a pretty strong statement about parenting, too.
It does. It frames the student loan issue partly as a parenting problem, urging parents to have honest talks with kids about costs and expectations.
Interesting. And why does retirement, step 4, come before college savings, step 5, in the priority list, even though they run together?
The rationale given is pretty straightforward. There's a 100% chance you're going to retire, but maybe only a 50-50 chance or less these days that your kid's going to go to college and graduate. Secure your own oxygen mask first, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense. So 15% to retirement, saving for college. What's the third thing happening simultaneously? Baby step 6.
Baby step 6. Pay off your house early.
The mortgage.
Yep. Any extra money you have after funding steps 4 and 5 starts going towards extra principal payments on your mortgage. You start chunking on the house.
Is this still gazelle intensity?
No, we're past that. This is the intentionality phase. You're not on beans and rice anymore. You're just purposefully directing extra funds to kill the mortgage faster.
And how fast does that typically happen for people following the plan?
The average time frame mentioned is about 7 or 8 years to pay off the house completely once they reach this stage.
7 or 8 years. So if you add up the debt snowball phase and this, you're looking at around a decade for the whole process.
That's about right, which is a key indicator. The whole plan takes, on average, roughly 10 years to get through step 6.
Wow. Okay, so steps 1 through 6 get you debt-free, emergency fund full, investing 15%, saving for college, and the house paid off. What's left? Step 7.
Step 7 is the culmination. It's build wealth and give outrageously.
That sounds like the fun part.
It's definitely where the steps ends, but it's really the beginning of living differently. But the house paid off, all that money that was going to debts and the mortgage is now freed up.
So your wealth building really kicks into high gear.
Absolutely. The projection is you'll likely be a millionaire shortly after your home is paid for, and you just keep building from there.
And the give outrageously part.
Yeah, that's heavily emphasized. Along with enjoying your money, the source says there are only 3 things to do with money: spend, save, invest, and give. And at step 7, you should be doing all 3 generously.
So it's not just about hoarding wealth.
Not at all. It's about reaching a level of financial security where you can make a significant impact through giving while also enjoying the fruits of your labor.
And the timeline for becoming a millionaire with this.
The numbers cited for these baby steps millionaires are averages like 11.2 years or 10.6 years from starting the plan. So becoming a millionaire in around 10 and a half years is presented as achievable.
That's pretty remarkable when you think about starting from maybe feeling overwhelmed and in debt.
It really is.
Yep.
So you go through that intense phase, getting the initial buffer, killing debt, then the intentional phase, investing, college, mortgage, and finally, wealth building and generosity.
It maps it all out, takes you from that paralysis by analysis, feeling stuck with too many choices.
And gives you a clear track to run on, confident action instead of confusion. It simplifies these huge financial goals into manageable steps.
Right. Which kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it? If having this clear step-by-step path can make something as potentially overwhelming as personal finance feel doable and lead to big results, well, it makes you wonder, where else in life could applying a simple, proven sequence unlock that kind of progress?
That's a great question to leave people with, something definitely worth pondering.